Today I want to talk about body positivity, what it is and what it isn't. Hello everyone, welcome to Mind Blowing Health and Wellness with Violet. And the reason I make these videos is to help people to understand that your mental health and physical health come together to create that overall sense of well-being. If you guys like this kind of video, please consider subscribing. First, I want to just define what the body positive movement is. So I'm going to read you something. Body positivity is a social movement rooted in the belief that all human beings should have a positive body image while challenging the ways in which society presents and views the physical body. I want to start by pointing out that body positivity is about bodies. It's not women. It's not about empowering women, although it will. It's about understanding that bodies are bodies. They're not what defines the person. So I do believe that objectification of women has been going on for years. We're used to sell everything from cars to houses to, it's ridiculous. Like, women are used to sell things because we look good, and there's some reason we keep associating sex with stuff. But this then makes it seem like a person is a thing, and well, not specifically a person, but a woman is a thing. I'm very happy about body positivity because I do feel that it brings it back to what it's supposed to be about. Because this is not a women thing or a man thing, it's a person thing. Men now have been objectified as well. I think we're starting to take the objectification of people as sex objects as important. Now, the problem that I have is that it's being done in a very negative way. It's important to feel good about your body. Why? Well, first of all, you're in your body all day long. If you don't like your body, that's going to be a negative experience that you're dealing with all day, every day, all the time. The way that you see yourself determines how you talk to yourself about you, but it also determines how you interact with other people. So how you see you is reflected in how you interact with others. So am I hiding myself from other people? Am I even avoiding engaging with other people altogether because I don't think I'm good enough, so I don't feel like this body that I'm in is good enough? Am I avoiding work? Am I avoiding healthy situations like exercise, socializing? Am I avoiding my life because I don't feel comfortable in my body? This is happening more often than we understand that it's happening, and it's part of the reason that I wanted to talk about it today. We need to understand that our ability to see ourselves in a very realistic way, which means I'm seeing myself and I see what I like about myself, hopefully that I do like what I see in myself, but also that I'm very realistically able to see any flaws that there might be, right? Because nothing and nobody is perfect. So there might be some things that I don't like about me, making that distinction. Part of the issue that most people have with their body image is that they're focusing on what somebody else might like or not like about them. And whenever we do that, whether it's to do with the way that I look, whether it's to do with how smart I am, whether it's to do with how successful I am, whether it's to do with the kind of activities I enjoy, no matter what it's about, if I'm more focused on what other people think of me rather than what I think of me, that's always going to be a problem. My value as a person is equivalent to every other person on the planet, but my understanding and love of me is specific to how I see me. And I encourage everyone to love yourself, to see yourself as amazing because you're the only version of you that exists. So love what you do, love who you are, be who you are, embrace it and live it fully because you're the only version of you that exists. Now here's what's interesting to me is that what happens when I start doing that? My image of myself is going to change. And once my image of myself starts to change and I really start to see how great that I am, well, right? Like, that's going to help me to love everything about me and at the same time still be willing to work on myself, because it's not because I see myself as really great that it doesn't mean I don't have things to work on. We always have things to work on because nobody's perfect. So body positivity is really about seeing people as people, right? That your body is what it is, which is a vessel to get us through this planet, to get us through this world, right? And allows us to engage with other people and to engage activities. That's really what a body is for. It's not about the specific shape that your body is taking. So what's the positives of body positivity? It puts the focus back on interactions between people, interactions with your world. It takes it away from how do I look to other people. And there's so many ways to interpret what I just said. Physically, how do I look to other people? Emotionally, like how are people judging me? There's so many ways to take that statement and that's what makes body positivity so complicated. If you look at this from the point of view that it's about looking a certain way and then accepting that look, we get it wrong. It's about understanding that everybody looks different, and yet all bodies are kind of the same because they function a certain way. You know, they have 2 legs, 2 arms, but yet at the same time, they don't always have 2 legs and 2 arms, right? So that everybody is the same, and yet we can be different, and yet we function the same way, and yet sometimes we function a little different, and it's all okay. As long as our body allows us to do what we are trying to do, live our life the way we want to live our life, that's what this is about. So body positivity, the other positive, is it helps us to learn to see people as individuals. To be able to look at someone and see the someone, because that's what's special about you. As I said earlier, you are you. I'm the only Violet Rivera psychologist, daughter with a daughter and 2 stepsons and a nice, amazing boyfriend. Like, I'm the only Violet Rivera like this that exists. Could there be someone else named Violet Rivera? Absolutely. Will she be exactly like me? Not at all. Matter of fact, the other Violet Rivera could be a man, for all we know, right? It's irrelevant, right? It's about understanding that we're all different, we're all special in our difference, and yet we're all the same because we're all people. Which brings me to the negatives of body positivity, because there are a few negatives that I've noticed. One thing that I've noticed is that it puts forward the idea that being overweight isn't a problem. And although for some people being overweight isn't a problem, for other people it is. It's not a blanket statement that says that because we are trying to understand that every person's body is the vessel that they travel through the world in, point final, and it's not supposed to be judged as a part of their value, as a part of their worth. It doesn't mean that because we make that decision that then if someone decides to lose weight, they're doing something wrong. That's the tone that I've noticed when I watch videos on YouTube about body positivity. That someone will be, I want to say chastised, I want to say, they're being degraded and they're being attacked for deciding to lose weight. So we'll have someone in the influencer world putting out videos, living their life, and then they publicly decide, I'm going to share with you guys that I've been trying to lose weight, and all of a sudden they're being shamed for wanting to do something that they think is better for their health. Now, and I'm not even talking about the way they decide to lose weight, just the fact that they're deciding to lose weight to begin with. It's not because I agree with body positivity that I'm not allowed to try to lose weight, or gain weight for that matter. If I decide next month that I want to try to put on some muscle, I believe it's my choice. And people shouldn't attack me for taking that decision, right? For deciding that it's okay for me to weigh a little more. I shouldn't be attacked for that. It's a choice that I'm allowed to make. The other issue I see with body positivity is it's being used as an excuse. So, and this is a harder one to say out loud because I'm not trying to say that any particular person has to lose weight. However, when there are metabolic issues that are apparent and people use body positivity as a reason that they don't really need to address their metabolic issues, I see that as a problem. Because what it seems to me is that you're taking something that's very positive and saying, well, if everyone is saying that it's fine to be in the body that you're in, which is absolutely true, it is fine to be in the body that you're in, then I shouldn't have to do anything to change anything ever, and that's not true. If there's medical things that are happening to you because of the weight you're at, I still agree that because we care about ourselves and want to live a healthy, long life, hopefully, have a responsibility to ourselves to do the things that help us to be healthy. I think the big question is, how do I think body positivity should be used by the world, because it's an interesting idea. And I think that body positivity is really closely linked to self-image, which is very closely linked to self-esteem. If I have a good self-image, that means that I see myself in a positive light. If I have high self-esteem, that means I think very well of myself and I feel like I'm able to accomplish and to do. People who have poor self-image and body image issues tend to also have low self-esteem, not see themselves as good people, not see themselves as capable, not see themselves as, right? And the way that I think that this can be helpful is that by allowing people to understand that so who you are is what's important. It allows us to put our attention on being the best version of myself that I can possibly be. When I start with thinking about how does Violet think about who she is as a person, then it's about taking decisions about the things that I do and whether I feel like they're in line with the person that I am. And I feel like my high school years was a great example of this. You see, I remember in high school, in my early years, so grade 7 and 8, like hanging out with people and wanting to really spend a lot of time with my peer group and doing all the things that they were doing, and realizing that the way that my peer group was behaving didn't fall in line with the values that we had at home. So one of the major ones being that I had a lot of people in my peer group who had no problem with skipping classes. I had a lot of people in my peer group that seemed to want to like smoke and just just not necessarily focus on school. As I mentioned to you guys, I grew up in a household where the thought was, us the parents, we do our thing, what we're supposed to do, right? So we're going to provide for you guys, and we're going to make sure that you get everything you need, and your job is to do well in school, be polite, and grow up to be good people. And honestly, I felt like my peer group in grade 7 and 8 didn't match who I wanted to be. Fast forward to grades 9, 10, 11, CEGEP University, I started to allow myself to be with the people who matched what I was taught in my home, and I actually felt myself getting along better. I felt more in line with who I was. Similar things happened with stuff like wearing makeup. Personally, so my mom wears makeup. My daughter wears makeup. My grandmother wore makeup. All of my aunts wore makeup. When it was my time, so when I was allowed to wear makeup, which was actually much younger in life than I thought my parents would have let me for all the things they were strict about, guess what? I didn't like it. First of all, I had an allergic reaction to one of the things that my mom helped me put on. But second of all, I didn't look like me anymore, and I kind of like looking like me. How I dressed. I remember up until the age of like 30, I wore heels all the time. I was always dressed in very fancy-ish clothing to go to work. And eventually, in the process of working and being in an office and wanting to feel comfortable, I started to really realize that I would much rather wear comfortable clothing, right? So be comfortable in my shoes. I'd rather be comfortable at work and be able to work at ease and save dressing up for when I had to go to court and when I had to, right? When I had to be with clients. Again, I think the thing that I've realized over time is that it's so much better to live the life that reflects who you truly are. And then when you're living that life that reflects who you truly are, if you're comfortable with who you are, then you're comfortable in your skin. And that's the thing that comes back to me at the beginning of everything. If anyone has seen my before and after pictures from Keto, what you're going to notice is that I'm smiling in the pictures. And when I look at my pictures, and trust me, there's not a lot of pictures only because I'm usually the photographer. But when I am in pictures, I'm smiling. I've seen people taking pictures that they look like they want to just fall into a hole and not be in the picture because they're so uncomfortable with how they look. I want everyone to understand that if you're not happy with who you are, if you're not happy with the way you look, if you're not, it's going to impact the way that you interact with other people. The back and forth is going to be affected. Your enjoyment of life is going to be affected. It is so important for us to understand that the best way that you can make sure that you're living the happiest life that you possibly can is to accept who you are, accept the body that you're in, and then work towards being the best possible version of yourself that you can. when you're trying to be that best version of yourself, you're going to decide if the weight you are right now matches the activities that you want to do. You're going to decide. If you feel like you're too heavy, you'll decide to lose weight. If you feel like you're too light, you'll decide to gain weight. But you're going to decide. If I decide tomorrow that what I really want to do is get into boxing, I'm going to have to gain some weight. It's not always about losing. And it's not always about sexual attraction, right? I feel like we need to understand that we are not purely sex objects. I'm talking both men and women, because the objectification has become for men and women. We are people, and our bodies are vessels to help us to enjoy life. And we're supposed to fuel that body with good quality food. You all know what I'm going to say. Eat a healthy ketogenic lifestyle, less than 20 grams of carbs or less, so that you can build the best quality body, grass-fed, organic if you can afford it, but at the minimum, good quality, the best quality meat and the lowest glycemic vegetables that you possibly can afford to help you to build that amazing body that's strong enough and healthy enough to take you forward till you're 105, that you can play with your children and your grandchildren and maybe even those great-grandchildren or great-great-grandchildren. Be a true wellness warrior and prioritize being healthy and being in this amazing, strong body over catering to what other people might think of what your body looks like. At the end of the day, it's only you that determines whether or not this feels amazing to you, whether or not you're doing the things that you truly want to do, living the life you truly want to live, enjoying yourself to the fullest. It's you that determines that, nobody else. I really hope you guys found this video helpful. I want to thank my wellness warriors for coming by. As usual, you guys inspire me to keep making new videos. Body positivity can be an amazing, good thing. Let's use it wisely. I want to thank you for watching Mind Blowing Health and Wellness with Violet. If you want to contribute to my Patreon, feel free. And if you'd like to use the Amazon links so that we could make contributions to the channel that way, all the information for that is in the description below. Can I talk to you guys again next week? Have a great day.